And the players lag for this round of 16 game between Macauley Gunn and Jamie Moray. Macauley Gunn wins the lag. He's at the table, setting the balls up. This should be, or promise to be, a quick fire game. Jamie Moray, a very, very fast and attacking player. I've not seen Macauley play, but I understand he's pretty quick around the table as well. Just on the other table, I can tell you that Scott Pope is 9 frames to 8 up now against Andy Williams. Mounted a big comeback. And he is at the table, but looks like there's a bit of a fudge fest ongoing at the moment, so we'll keep in touch with that game. And for anyone recently joining us, we are at the Forest of Dean Open at Drybrook Sports Bar. The other game's currently ongoing. Neil Britton is 3-0 up against Nathan Overthrow. Steve Bell 2-0 up against Forster. And the Cole Bedford Nick Bell game is yet to get underway because that's due to go onto the table number 2, which is currently being occupied by Andy Williams and Scott Pope. Jamie just electing to break everything open, but taking a bit of a risk with that shot. Wow, what a shot that was. Opened up everything in that one shot, but this is another one that needs really good cueing. Needs to screw back a few inches. There. I was going to say the natural angle is colliding with those yellows, so he's managed to screw back into open play. And now it's just all about the cue ball. And that Fairly simple black to take the first frame, and that was good stuff from Macauley. He gets the first frame on the board. And we get our first sight of Jamie Moray. I can tell you that Scott Pope has won that frame, and he progresses through. And he'll play Daniel Bishop in the next round. And that is a dry break. This is probably the most open that the balls have gone. And a really good chance. Just push that yellow on top of the red. So it's just pushed it slightly safe, but it does have an angle on the one nearest the bulk line. We can just screw into that, just a soft screw. Oh wow, took his eye off the ball there. That was a mistake. Hasn't left anything easy. The plant to middle, there's one which is awkward nearest the bulk line, especially queuing from under the cushion. Well, there's a tricky one down the rail. Neither of which look particularly attractive when you're trying to get your arm going. And just getting underway on table 2 is the game between Cole Bedford and Nick Bell. So again, we'll keep our eye on that one. Definitely a battle of the lightweights. There's I think I probably weigh more than both of those combined. There's more meat on a butcher's pencil. Jamie still giving this one some... sorry. Just looking at the other table for a second. Of course, it's Macauley at the table. Okay, so now this is a presentable chance for Jamie. It's going to open with the half ball cut to middle bag. We'll probably want to do something about this this ball on the cushion fairly early, so I think he'll be going for it next. Couldn't have got much better on it. And now, great chance. It's just about the cue ball positioning off of this shot. Should be fairly simple. Yeah, that's okay. It's not what you intended, but that works. Nice shot from Jamie. That I guess that could have gone wrong. Big bounce off the top cushion could have left him in trouble, but obviously comfortable in letting the cue ball run. And there's one frame each. As I say, we'll keep you updated with the other scores around the room. Cole Bedford-Nick Bell game just underway. Neil Britton still showing us 3-0 up against Nathan. I'm not sure that one's been updated. Steve Bell 2-0 up, and Macauley Gunn and Jamie Moray, as you can see, is 1 each. So those are the 4 games currently in progress. Macaulay's route through to this point. He beat Jason Herzig 6-5 in the first round, and then beat Stuart Baldwin 6-0 in the winners round 1. And then he beat Nick Bell 6-4 in winners round 2. So he's come through the winners side to get to this last 16. Jamie Moray's slightly more circuitous route. Beat Simon Watt 6-2 in the first round. Ben Beard 6-2 in winners round 1. Then he lost to Neil Britton 6-5 in the winners qualification, and went into losers qualification where he beat Elliot Coombe 5-2. So the top half of the quarterfinal is now shaped up It's Daniel Bishop against Scott Pope. And Shane Thompson will play Ben Holly. So that gets us up to date as there's another mistake there by Macauley. He's not going to be able to afford too many. You see Ben Holly there sat in the background just behind Cole Bedford. Just chilling out before his next round game. Jamie was 7-1 with the bookmaker before the start of play, which is a bit of a surprise because he was only 5-1 before the event started. So his value's increased as he's gone further in the tournament. I think that's more reflective of the players that are left in. Nice clearance there from Jamie. That's now 2 frames to 0. 2 frames to 1. That's going to be another dry break. And that's now 2 dry breaks for Jamie. As we said in the last match, a real feature. 8 dry breaks in the last one. 2 of the 4 so far in this one. Shane had 5 dry breaks in the last match and still came through the winner, so how is this going to affect Jamie's game? Can Macauley take advantage? He's not so far. He's going to have to up his game. Can't afford the mistakes that he's shown. Obviously a very adept player coming through the winner's side. And taking some scalps on the way. This is not ideal. Hampered. And he has to screw back down table. Needs to get back down on the line of the middle bags, or just above. So again, he's going to have to cue this one well. And does, but again, hamper cueing off the cushion. Just continually leaving room for error. And then we should be okay from here. You can just drop this in, run the cue ball through a few inches. Surely this is too straight, isn't it? Can he force it across? Wow, he could. Just flick it off the yellow. That was a good shot. But, could have gone wrong. But it doesn't. And that's 2 frames each. So another mistake from the break. Dry break. White ball in off. They have split well though. Now then, I don't want to speak too soon, but I'm going to call it. First break dish of the day. I'm going to call it. There you go. I've done it. In fact, I'm going to mark it up. Well, of course, it's not a break dish, is it? It's a reverse dish, sorry. It was off a dry break. All right. I'm talking rubbish again. It's obviously not the first break dish of the day. Well, that could have sat on the red and been nasty, but he's fine. Indeed, it does get marked up as a reverse dish. And Jamie punishing that in off from Macauley. So as we get frame number 6 underway, and Jamie finds a ball. It's the first break he's found a ball, and I'm now joined on commentary by Dan Bishop. How you doing, Dan?
Not too bad at all, Nick. Thanks very much. What do you think so far to this one? Looks like a bit of a dish fest.
Yeah, it could be close, couldn't it? It's a couple of unforced errors from Macauley in the early frames. You know, he could easily be 4-1 ahead, I guess. But the whole day so far has been a story of dry breaks. I mean, 8 in the last match and 3 so far in this one. And that's the first frame that Jamie's managed to find a ball.
Yeah, I know both of these players reasonably well, and the break's massive for both of them. If they're there, they're dishers, and they don't really want to get bogged down in tactics. So
yeah,
the break becomes very important.
Both naturally attacking players, I believe, aren't they?
Yeah, especially Jamie Moray, very attacking.
We say that as Macauley sticks in a little defensive one, and Jamie's going to try and do the same back. I think he can just squeeze the yellow in behind the red. Cushion first.
Bit too hard there.
Yeah.
No, he's played the attacking shot. You can't really knock him for that. It's not come out great. But I'm sure he'll have a go at the one in the middle of the table.
Yeah, that's all he's got is the one that's just to the right of where the blue spot would be.
Maybe just a little containing shot off the 2 yellows closest to the white. That's the other option.
That would be the sensible thing to do.
Maybe not the Jamie thing to do. Cracking setup here, isn't it, Nick?
It really is, yeah. Yeah, great arena, really good. Plenty of space.
Nice over-the-shoulder view there for Jamie on the camera. See what he's looking at.
Yeah, he's really having to weigh this one up. You can tell he really doesn't want to play this containing shot, but that's what he's going to have to do. But even that's not a gimme, is it?
He needs to get almost touch him.
Yeah.
One of the yellows on and off the cushion.
Of course, he desperately won't want to tie up one of his yellows, will he? I mean, he could just push the yellow across below the red, just to put some, a more fudging player would probably do that, just to put in a bit of covering fire. But
I think you're just giving the onus back to your opponent, though, doing that. And where he'd be leaving the white, I think he'd leave the angle for Macauley to just knock it straight back out.
Yeah.
It's the longest I've ever seen Jamie take to play a shot, I think. He's in a little bit of trouble.
Kind of surprised he hasn't by now just thought, oh, hell to it, I'm going to nail the one in the middle of the table.
Yeah.
He doesn't like this at all.
Nothing immediately obvious easy, but the one does pass the black up into the top left-hand corner as we look at it. So I'm sure Macauley will be playing that one. And leave the one on the rail to last to get on the black.
No.
Not close. Didn't cue that one as well as he normally does.
No.
So does the yellow pass up into the top left, do you think, Nick?
I think he's looking at that now. I don't think it does, so he's going to take the long one.
Oh. hit at it a little bit.
Yeah, just
cue through it.
Yeah, just a bit snatchy, wasn't it?
Seemed to get a little bit of extra importance on a frame where you've had a couple of visits each rather than a dish. So they'll both be keen to win this one. Macauley in the driving seat now. Bit too hard. Should be all right. Can just screw off past the yellow. Right, just use the yellow as a stopper there for the red over the pocket. You'll clear that end of the table now and then work back down to the one down at the near side. Oh, I think he had a kick there. White just seemed to come off a little bit wider than he expected.
So Nick Bell now 2-0 up against Cole in the start of that game. Neil Britton 4-1 up against Nathan Overthrow. And Steve Bell and Foster. Steve was 2-0 up. It's now 2 each. And of course, you played this morning as well. Steve and Giles 10-6.
Yeah,
through into the round of 8.
Happy to get through that one. Steve's a very good player and pushed me all the way really. And just a little bit of bad run in the middle of the match gave me a bit of a cushion. That's a good shot.
Yeah, very nice.
Simple now.
Yep. Just touch aside on the ball just to open the angle. And this simple black to make it 3 frames each. And that one against a serve, and it's going to be his break in the 7th frame.
A testament to the amount of players that they've got in from all over the country. Macauley coming up from the Midlands to play. So Maca breaking at 3-1. And try again. Might see Jamie have a look at the plant if the red onto the yellow is a gimme, which it looks like it is. No. Just using that as a...
Well, it looks dead set, doesn't it? But I guess he's going to go for the 3-ball plant.
Yeah, I think using it as a bit of a safety precaution for later on if he does come unstuck.
Yeah. Kind of fancied him to take it there because it looked like he had a nice angle to come across and attack the other problem as well. So just
easy from over here, though, isn't it?
Oh, of course, yeah. I've never missed a ball from here. Everyone sees it differently, don't they? So
yeah,
that's the beauty of the game. That's what makes it so interesting. It'd be pretty boring if we all played the same way. But definitely not his natural game at the moment, is it? It's just defensive thoughts in his mind and just trying to control the game. It's probably a good thing. It's good to see that he's got a B game, another facet to his play.
It's a good idea there from Macauley, but it's just he's left that gap.
Yeah. Yeah, it was the right shot, but just hasn't quite executed. And This is...
Oh,
wow.
Didn't get into the ball at all there.
No.
Tried to miss the middle pocket with a bit of side and cannon the red next to the yellow. Just didn't quite get into the white ball.
Shake of the head.
That's his second unforced error, I think, of the match.
Interesting that we're now 6 frames into this, and the Shane Thompson game was 15 frames. So that's 21 frames of decent level of pool, and noticeable that not one break dish.
Yeah, you'd have got big odds on that, I think, after this many frames with the top quality players that we've had on the table today.
I mean, it shows. I mean, it says something about the way the table's breaking at the moment, and it has been. There always seems to be just a little cluster or a couple of problem balls that they haven't been able to negotiate.
Yeah, earlier on upstairs, I was playing on the near side table, and Ben Holly was playing Dan Reed on the other table. I think there was 1 break and dish in our match and 2 in theirs, so only 3 out of 30 frames up there as well. And there weren't many balls missed, it was just the way the frames were going. I think you do get that with a newly reclothed table sometimes, if they've not been played in a little bit.
Yeah.
It makes for an interesting battle, I suppose, on each match, rather than
it does, yeah.
rather than it all being about the break.
But the good thing is, I mean, neither match so far has turned into a fudge fest. They've both been, naturally attacking players in both games, so it's tended to be quite open games.
Just had a little pan around there. You could see a few people in the crowd, a few recognisable faces. Martin Goddard taking an interest in this match. Famously once wrestled a shark.
You can't leave us hanging. We need to know about that story.
Yeah, I think it was Blackpool Beach. He had a bit of a run-in with a shark, managed to wrestle it and win, of course. Hence he's still with us today.
Is that right? You don't get many sharks on Blackpool Beach. Was it a blow-up one?
I think it was in his head, to be honest. I think it was in his head. He's a bit of a head case, Martin. Lovely guy. Crazy. So he'll be supporting Jamie today, and they travelled up together.
I love listening to stories, pool stories. I was listening to Brian Halcrow do a commentary the other day, and there was a lovely story he was telling about when he was playing. He was in a pub, and a guy challenged him to a match with a broom handle. He said, "I'll play you with the broom handle." He said, "I'll play you for 500 quid, and I'll give you a 7 start." No, he said, "I'll take a 7 start." Against Brian, who's a very good player.
Yeah.
And Brian said, "Yeah." So he ran down the bank and drew out 500 quid quickly. Went back, counting the £1,000 that he was just about to win. And the bloke picks up this broom, and he said he took off unscrewed the head of the broom, and proceeded to dish the next 3 frames. So Brian was now 10-0 down. And then it wasn't until like the 11th frame that Brian realised that the guy had to play a shot from the rail, and because the ball was so close to the rail, he couldn't cue it.
No.
And every time he went to cue one that was near the rail, he was miscuing. So Brian said from then on, he just kept on leaving him on the rail.
On the rail, taking 2 shots.
So Brian said even then, he only beat him 15-14. It went to a decider. So he said he played a bloke for £1,000 who was using a broom handle and almost lost. It was a brilliant story. I love listening to people's stories. It's fantastic. He said absolutely true story. And apparently this guy was quite famous for it. Just goes around hustling people with
a broom.
With a broom.
That's some talent. Meanwhile, we've had another dry break, and Macaulay's making his way through the reds.
Oh wow!
That must have rolled. He's gestured to say that that's turned off a long way. You do get them now and again. It could have gone over a finger mark, a bit of chalk on the table, or a slight lean as the new cloth is bedding in. It can just settle and need re-looking at after a couple of matches. But he definitely thought that one rolled off.
Yeah. The finger marks are definitely playing a part. There was one during the last game that Zach's potted up the rail and up the left-hand rail, and as he's hit it, it looks like it's going straight towards the pocket, and then it comes away from the pocket, and at the last second it goes back in. So it went one way and then the other, but I think it was just the finger marks and the nap.
Yeah.
When you play him dead weight on a nap cloth, you're always...
I think Drybrook events have done a great job with the setup, and they've obviously wanted to have brand new tables, brand new cloths and cushions and everything, and that is what they've delivered, and it can you can get a few teething problems when the setup's that brand new.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's sometimes can be difficult on a wooden floor as well, because there's often a tiny bit of flex on the floor as you walk around the table. That can play a part.
Yeah, absolutely. Daniel Connor, who would the favourites be in this tournament? Daniel, I think Shane Thompson and Neil Britton would have been right at the top of the list, with Nick Bell probably not too far behind.
Yeah. Fair to say that's a roundabout where the bookie priced it. I mean, he didn't offer odds on Shane Thompson because he owns him in the Calcutta, and he didn't want to compromise that position. But I think had he priced Shane, he would have probably been around about 6-4, I would think.
Yeah.
Neil Britton was 9-4, and then onwards and upwards from there. I think Jamie Moray was 7-1, and a few people were having bits of him, seeing a bit of value in Jamie. Very capable.
Yeah, absolutely. When he gets on a run, he's like a steam train. You just can't stop him sometimes. And that's where the value is with him. Also, Cole Bedford, top player. So it's been a good quality event. Andy Williams, Zach Shepherd, both quality players. So a little bit of luck of the draw sometimes. Like Cole and Shane ran into each other early on in the when we had the double elimination stages, and Shane ended up coming through as a loser, through the loser's side. So that was a nasty draw for Zach to get after winning his 3 matches. It's a well-controlled shot from Macauley. Just needs to be a little bit careful with the 2 reds nearest the middle. Needs to possibly navigate a path through, or find a cannon on one of the yellows to leave himself the plant, or possibly the outside of the 2 reds into the top right-hand pocket. A bit of traffic to get there. Looking at that cannon now. I quite like how Macauley goes about his finishes. He's very natural, but also he doesn't leave a lot to chance. He makes sure of his routes. That's exactly as played. Great shot. So with the plant, just trying not to leave the object ball close to the cushion, which he's done a little bit. have to play a double now. It's Macaulay's girlfriend as well, sat next to Jamie, watching on with interest. So Jamie will be looking to counter and take these yellows out. No real problems, one close to the cushion, but shouldn't be a problem at all from there. That's a little bit awkward.
Nick Bell now 3-1 up against Cole Bedford. Fos Forster and Steve Bell still locked together at 3 each. And Neil Britton is now stretched out to a 7-2 lead against Nathan Overthrow.
Yeah, Neil was 1-16 with the bookie on that one. That's no.
Oh dear.
That was another unforced error from Jamie there. I just think he tried pushing the boat out a bit there after he wasn't very happy with the outcome of the plant.
Yeah.
He felt like he had to still go for it when he probably didn't. That will cost him that frame. Three then to Macauley.
Another dry one.
Yeah, it's incredible, isn't it?
It really is. And that's the fourth one for Macauley. He's only potted from one break.
Jamie needs to make sure really here. Try and turn the screw a little bit because he let Macauley off the hook in the last game.
Already gone a bit wrong for him though, isn't it? It's a tricky little cut, reaching over.
I'd expect him to make the cut and just bump the ball lower of the middle, below the middle pocket. Oh, he straightened it up with side. That's a good shot.
Yeah.
Just keeping the white in the middle of the table there.
And now if you can see the one over the middle, he's got a nice angle to go up table.
I think it's a bit tight.
I think it might be, yeah, he might have to. It's still awkward, isn't it? The yellow between the black and the red is awkward. It obviously goes to the right-hand bottom corner, but no angle to get across there.
No.
The cue ball was sort of 8 inches to the right, then this would be a lot simpler.
Yeah, that's why he's a little bit reluctant to play this shot, because
Yeah.
that's the easier one to get on that yellow.
Yeah, I did wonder if he'd try and play it either off the yellow or maybe even off the red. Would have been wiser, because that would have freed the pocket. He's let Macauley in again, and this is a very open table. And he really should be taking these.
Yeah, no major problems there. The one on the bulk line, the most difficult one, but you'd still expect him to take them.
Yeah, I guess the only real issue is the fact that the balls are kind of on top of each other a little bit, aren't they? You need to think about the order you take them in. That's a good shot.
Yeah.
Now, he should just be able to work his way right centre and then play the one to top left and leave himself on the one in the middle to be able to come back across table for the one on the bulk line. I mean, there's probably about 1,000 variations of how he could go about these balls.
You might just want to leave the one right in the middle of the table to play after the one down the rail.
Yeah, yeah.
But that does rely on him landing quite straight on that ball.
Yeah. I think personally I would probably prefer to take the ones out in the middle, only because when you take the one up the rail, you only really need to drift into open play because you've got the ball to the right-hand side of the table. But again, it's just a question of personal taste, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
That one's probably drifted on a little bit further than absolutely comfortable.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to have the cue ball quite on a string at the moment, just fighting a little bit for position.
I mean, I have to assume that his plan was always to take this one up the rail, but this is now quite a bit skinnier than ideal, and indeed made it missable. And he's left Jamie an angle on the one over the middle to be able to stun up table.
Yeah.
Anywhere near where the... that's too much. I was going to say anywhere near where the bulk line meets the right-hand side cushion would have been ideal, but he really got into that one.
Yeah, a bit careless really. He could have used the cushion rather than screwing straight down there.
Yeah.
That gives you a little bit more
Margin of error,
yeah.
Absolutely. Didn't feel like that was ever really on. It was almost a little bit too thin.
I think if one of them starts flowing, they'll take this match by the scruff of the neck. So they're both just struggling a little bit. Jamie just trying to make something happen for himself. With the big pocket treble.
It's just not happening for him, is it?
No. I don't think Macauley will pass up this opportunity.
And now, Simple Black to take a 3-frame lead. That's 6-3. It's Macauley Gunn, who, I had to say, Jamie would have probably gone into this game as a slight favourite. And another dry break. I've said that a lot of times today. In fact, that is the 15th time
I was starting to think it was a soundbite.
out of 24 breaks. It's the 15th dry break.
Nice shot there from Jamie.
Yeah, very nice.
From Macauley.
From Macauley, yeah.
I forgot who it was at the table.
And if he wins this frame, 7-3 lead. Well, that's going to be a tough road back.
Yeah, that one shot there just opened this frame right up, didn't it?
Yeah, and again, it's a very, very makeable clearance. That has definitely got away from him, though.
He should still be all right.
Should still be fine. He's got this one in the bottom corner, but it's just a reroute.
So there's potentially quite a lot riding on this match because it is the last round before the many stages and the last round before the Calcutta kicks in. So it could cause a little bit of tension in the arm for both players, especially if they've got a piece of themselves in that Calcutta.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. It's definitely going to factor in. Another one that got away.
It's very surprising, that one from Macauley.
Yeah.
Of his quality. Jamie wouldn't have been expecting to get back to the table there, so these are the ones you've got to really punish those mistakes.
So do you go for the very difficult plant down the rail? I don't think you can you? It's
No, I think even Jamie might refuse that one.
yeah, you've got to take the ball to the right. In fact,
Just playing safe.
he's just going to play a little snooker.
That's the right shot, isn't it?
I think it is absolutely the right shot. I just didn't expect to see it.
You forget about the safety shots when Jamie's at the
I
top.
know. And it's not a gimme to get out of, is it? I mean, he's got a one cushion escape to the right hand side rail, but he's only got half a ball to aim at. He's got a one cushion escape at the top rail, but the problem is there's nowhere safe on the table, is there? Looks like he thinks he can swerve.
Yeah, good hit.
Yeah, but as I say,
Still
there's
in trouble.
yeah, just nowhere safe on the table, so wasn't difficult to get out of in this one, even more so. Well,
Nice to see some of the local lads watching, the Gloucestershire players.
Yeah.
Got Rich Mallard, Rich Gifford tuning in, watching, making some comments, and Craig Scottford, snooker player, once beat Ronnie O'Sullivan. Doesn't mention it though. He doesn't. He likes to keep it quiet.
oh, that's a great shot.
Great shot. So hard to judge when you're that close to the first cushion. That's a cracking escape.
That, again, a very nice shot. Develops everything in that one visit. And now these are very much on for Jamie. Oh, wow.
That's just careless. Wasn't
Just about to say this is a must-win frame for him. Just as he throws in that bad one.
A couple of other lads tuning in. Darren Palmer, top Cheltenham player. Dan Williams. Bianjouy, good game. Abdi Rabi. And Scott Buckley. Go on, Dan, you pig. He obviously knows me well.
I was just about to say about that shot. It looked simple enough, but it really wasn't. It was one of those he had to play at dead weight, and very hard to judge when they're just off the cushion like that. And
yeah, you'd much rather punch those in, but he just couldn't that time for position.
And he threw his arms up again, just feeling that one just rolled off slightly.
So Jamie just needs to take an extra second, I think. Make sure of this one. You don't want to be going 7-3 down.
That's a nice shot.
Yeah, he
left a nice angle.
Just about perfect. Just drop this one in for simple black and frame back.
As I said, that really was a must-win frame. That's 6-4 is a very different complexion to 7-3. And Jamie will feel all of his mistakes. He's still very much in this one.
Yeah, absolutely. He didn't give that black a chance to roll off, did he?
No.
Gave that a bit of force.
Maybe we can have a quick look at the stats from the game so far. 10 breaks, 7 of them have been dry. We've had 1 reverse dish from each player, no break and dish. And again, similarly to the first game, unforced errors from both players.
And Macaulay's made a ball that time.
Yeah. Finds the pocket with a red, but again, as you scan around the table, there's clusters. Most noticeably this one on the bottom left of the table with the yellow and red tied up. He's going to have to do something about that shot. And straight away he's got hampered queuing. And suddenly this, from what should have been fairly simple first few balls, is just slightly more awkward. There's a bit more angle on this one to middle than would have been ideal, but should still be okay.
Yeah, he's just now looking for an angle on one of the last 3 yellows to try and move the red and yellow that you mentioned earlier.
Seems like the most obvious one is well, there's 2, aren't there? The 2 closest to this end of the table. You could. I did wonder if he might try and leave an angle. I don't even think he left an angle. I think he's pretty much straight to try and force across.
Yeah, just to stun across.
Yeah, and knock it out. But I think probably a better ball would have been the one closest to the bottom rail, and try and spin across and flick it out from rail side.
Yeah, I think he wanted to leave that one to be guaranteed on if he did stick on the red or yellow.
Yeah.
But either way, it's gone wrong now, and Jamie's got the same problem.
If this red does pass into corner, which I think it may, then you might be able to manufacture something to knock it out.
Yeah,
immediately.
Quite a deep screw shot to get across there.
It is, yeah.
Don't think he can run it round the angles. He's going to have to go straight direct into it.
Yeah.
Doesn't.
Don't think he feels that it's quite there, so he's just looking at a different route. Coming back around to take another look. Don't think the angle's there, so he discards that option.
Yeah, sometimes with that, you think, am I going to get a better opportunity to go into it during this dish? And
yeah.
He obviously thinks he will this time.
The only issue is, of course, if you do have a problem, you want to take it as early as possible, don't you? And now he's going to have to clear some of the balls at the top of the table, and he's really reducing his options. And it really is going to be eggs in the one basket at the moment.
Yeah. The thing is, I always think when you're trying to cannon into balls to open them out, you want to have a sort of another ball to play on. So
Absolutely.
You don't want to be relying on that one coming out and landing on it, because it rarely happens unless you can play a very controlled shot. That was good cueing from off the
Very
cushion.
nice. Very nice. Now it looks like
He can pick his spot from here, really. He's got a nice shot here. He can pick his spot if he wants to play the cannon last. If he wants to play it now, he could do.
I think he could definitely play it now. Looks like that's exactly what he's going to do.
Just caught the wrong ball there.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised to see him try and cut this up the reel. Not many players I'd say that about, but with Jamie, he's got that shot in him.
There is a little containing shot, but
That's what he's doing.
yeah.
I think if we were having a knock, if I was having a practice with Jamie, which we do from time to time, he's going for that every time.
Yeah. Need to freeze that white. I don't know if he's left this one. It's a mistake if he has, if he's left the one to bottom right, but no, I don't think he has.
He'd have been down on it, wouldn't he, by now? Maybe a little swerve. Looking at a safety.
That's a very nice shot. Really well judged. And the one cushion escape is there off the left rail, but well, now it becomes very, very difficult not to leave something.
We've got a very good view of Jamie's haircut there.
Yeah, he's able to give this one a lot of thought. There's, as I mentioned, there's nowhere. The escape is simple enough, but not leaving the frame is much more difficult, and it's 6 foot down. This is another very important frame.
You feel it's going to take a fluke, really, for him to win this frame from
Yeah.
there. So wherever he hits one of those reds, he's leaving something for Macauley. If you're not certain you're going to hit the red, you may as well just roll it to the yellow, but again, it's giving the frame away. What about off the right-hand side cushion, left-hand side, through the gap, 2 more cushions, and land on the red next to the black?
Easy.
What do you think? Might not be enough room.
Yeah.
If he's going to hit a red, he's got to land on it, and he'll
Absolutely,
hit
yeah.
it hard and
Yeah.
hope something happens.
Yeah, that's the only. Let's have another look now. That shot might be there, you know. So. I mean, the other option would be to go side rail into the back of the red to try and push the black into that kind of, you know, into the yellow and red and try and just put some cover in, but it's just a bit of a forlorn hope, to be honest. Jamie is about as stumped as we are, and well,
He's trying to mess the table up a
yeah,
bit.
he's going to play a DF, and he's trying to. Well, I mean, that's not a bad shot actually. I mean, it's
It's a tricky first visit. That was the main thing.
yeah, yeah. It's just left his plant into the middle, and he's also put that ball in a kind of safe place as well. That's a nice shot. Needs to come around.
He just seemed to react, to look as if the cue ball didn't react off the cushions as he expected it to during that shot. He should still be alright with 2 shots. Well, that couldn't have come out a lot worse, really. Left himself a horrible shot now, if he wants to carry on clearing it. Needs to get really high over the yellow to have a nice clean connection with the white, and just makes the putt so difficult.
Yeah, it's horrible cueing. Some of the hardest shots to play, isn't it? It's,
yeah, you almost can't see the object ball as you're cueing. Don't blame him there for not taking that one on.
Giving Jamie a sniffer, which he shouldn't have really had.
2 cushion, put the red, 2 cushions into the yellow full board.
Yeah, that'll be the order of the day. Just focus on the pot.
Might just come off a bit wide to hit the yellow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh dear. Had he made the pot, the cue ball wouldn't have been enough, but he missed the pot by some margin. And now this will be 7-4. Nice control. And the simple black to re-establish a 3-frame lead. It's Macauley Gunn. Needs 3 more. This is, if you're recently joining us, the Forest of Dean Open. And we are at the Drybrook Sports Bar in Drybrook, Gloucester. You see the poster, sponsored by Town, and also the official venue sponsor is Coors.
That's some big name sponsors, isn't it, for
Really is.
for the FOD Open. Jamie's made a ball off the break. He looks pretty shocked about that. So you're looking to take the red off the yellow to open that pocket up. That's what he's played, but not made contact with the yellow. All of a sudden looks very wild, but There was definitely method in that shot. Any score updates off the other games, Nick?
Yep. Neil Britton gap. I mean, it's a simple one cushion escape, but trying to. He's not going to want to mess it up too much. Given where the black is, I think he'll just be playing this at dead weight. Okay, it went, but.
Needs to, if he's playing the pot here, he needs to catch it thin. Just
Really
come
thin.
around the yellows, back off one cushion, then off the other.
Wow.
Not really sure what he's played there. He must have just thought he could slide up past the black and leave it. I think he tried to bring the white across and knock
I think
it
he
in.
did, yeah.
Chris Mellin special.
Chris Melling, I was about to say that. Chris loves that shot.
Challenging man to commentate on Chris Mellin.
Yeah.
Not quite sure what he's going to do.
Very nice.
Yeah, played that well. Good connection with the second yellow.
And Jamie definitely had his chances in that frame, and it's Macauley that takes it, and now goes out to a full frame lead, 8-4. It's going to be a long way back from Jamie from here.
Yeah, he needs to win 6-1 now. No, not easy against Macauley. Macauley made a ball off the break this time. He's gone yellows. Just tried to develop something there with that last shot, but didn't make contact with any of the other balls. That looks like 2 shots to me.
Nick Bell now 8 frames to 2 up against Cole Bedford.
Yeah, Cole looking at his phone, looking around the room, looks a bit disinterested at the moment.
There's another bad one in there from Jamie. It's shouldn't have been leaving himself. Oh, okay. Didn't realise that red would pop through the gap. Thought he'd left himself a plant, but he was okay.
Just glanced over at the Nick and Cole match, also in the room. Saw Cole play length of the table treble. Didn't quite finish the frame from it, but it was a hell of a shot.
Better there from Jamie. Reduces the gap to 3 frames, and it's now 8-5. He will break in frame number 14.
Bit of a confidence booster, that finish.
Yeah.
Jamie to break next.
Apologies, we just took our eye off the prize for a second, but that was a dry break from Jamie. And sadly for him, it's probably one of the most open tables that we've had today.
Yeah, the yellows look very inviting there. Not absolutely perfect there, just lost it a little bit, but I wouldn't
Slightly
expect,
hampered again.
wouldn't expect any point. He might just change his route here and play the one over the corner first, leave the one down the rail for last. Seemed to spring up off the cushion.
Yeah, it should be fine. Just top through off the... I didn't need to. I was going to say top through off the side rail, but he was a bit straighter than he looked. You can just drop this in and leave the yellow straight. Again,
Hampered.
slightly hampered. He's,
Yeah.
I think he expected that cue ball to run through an inch or so. So adds another layer of difficulty, but
Good shot.
negotiates it well. Oh, goodness me.
Used all the pocket, that puts him on the hill.
I think his heart was in his mouth for a second. I think he thought he missed it. 9-5 to Macauley Gunn. Now, Jamie Moray needs to win 5-0, and as far hasn't shown the form to do that, so he needs to pull it out right here. So his back's against the wall.
He's the type of player that can rattle off 5 frames against anyone, but he just hasn't looked inspired so far.
No. And yet again, a dry break. Number 9 of 15. So a success rate somewhere around about 35% at the moment is not what the players are looking for off the break.
That was a good shot, a bit unfortunate that he's pushed another red up into that cluster. Just looking at your stats there, Nick, and the unforced errors. higher than you'd expect from two quality players like that.
Yeah, I've got them around about 8 each. It might even be a few more than that. It's kind of subjective. It's not every miss. I mean, if it's a really tough shot or a plant or something like that, these are really balls missed in open play.
Yeah.
That you would kind of expect them to get.
Yeah,
that's
things like that.
Yeah, that's kind of what I class as unforced errors. And yeah, it'll be too many for them for sure.
Jamie just seems to have sped up a notch.
Yeah, absolutely, noticeably so. Just trying to play through this problem, and sometimes it can do that, can it? It can give you that kind of
momentum.
Yeah, that little boost almost, just to. Oh dear.
He judged the cannon really well.
Yeah.
Took his eye off the palm. He hit it a bit hard as well, but where he connected with the black was spot on.
Now look at these yellows. I mean, this should be game over.
Just as Macaulay's finishing these off, I've just seen Nick and Cole shake hands. So Nick Bell safely through to the quarterfinals.
Yeah, I think he's won that one 10-2.
Nick's an absolute machine of a player when he plays well. Just one more decent positional shot and this should be game over. That was not exactly as planned.
No, this needs to be a good one. And made sure he kept a good white ball.
So you've either got to put off something special or play a great safety from there, because there's not many hiding spots up near the top corner pocket. It's probably a foot off the corner pocket would be one area you could leave the white.
Yeah, I was just looking to see whether there might be a kind of shot to nothing to reverse double the red back up table and send the white around the angles to go back up into that right hand quadrant, but I don't think it's on.
Looking at a big double, I think. Maybe even a treble up and down into the yellow pocket. He's a bit of a shot maker, so I wouldn't rule him out putting this.
The treble's not a bad shout actually. It's the yellow's making it a fairly big pocket. I think he's. I don't know what to do. I was going to say I think he's going to take the conservative route, and the trouble is I think laying the snooker is probably just as difficult as to judge as playing a treble.
Yeah. Maybe you could play the treble and screw the white back at the table.
Possibly, yeah, that might be an option.
If you're digging down a bit.
Slightly hampered queuing to do that, but I think that's what he's going for. Well, if Adna caught the knuckle for a split second, he thought he might come down and just do something, just flick the yellow somehow, but that's flown away a bit. And again, this is test of queuing. Just needs to stun it in, and he does so, and that's a good win from Macauley. Comes away, the victor, 10 frames to 5, and the next game up will be from the round of 8, We obviously don't know who's going to be on stream yet, but we'll keep a close eye. But for now, we're going to hop across to the interview room to get a quick chat, find out the thoughts from Macauley. But for now, Dan, best of luck in your next match. You've got Scott Pope.
Yeah, cheers, mate. A pleasure.
Thanks for jumping on commentary. I can just tell you as well that one of those quarterfinals has started. It's Shane Thompson against Ben Holly, and Shane is 3-1 up. So it's going to be Nick Bell against Neil Britton, yourself against Scott Pope, and Macauley is going to play the winner of Foz Foster and Steve Bell, and Foz is currently 8-6 up. So
Nice.
We'll jump across into the interview room and we'll speak to you soon.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers. So next up on the TV table is going to be Nick Bell against Neil Britton. I think Macauley has declined to do an interview. I don't think he's a bit camera shy. Who can blame him? So back on this table as soon as they prepared it. Should be back with the action in about 10 minutes or so. We'll see you all again soon.